All right, Facebook family, it is 9 o'clock on the dot. It is time for Pajama Praise. You know, we start on time. It's 9 o'clock on the dot. Our guest, Brother Daymond Callahan, is here with us. He's in the studio with us, man. We were getting ready to strike up on another conversation at 9 o'clock came. But that's one of the things I enjoy about Pajama Praise. You know, our guests, man, they have incredible stories, and we have incredible conversations even before the show begins. And so we're here tonight. We're going to hear the story of Brother Daymond Callahan. Just found out he was a Cleveland Browns fan, and we're going to do that because I'm diehard Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys. But
boy, here we go.
he's here tonight, and we're going to hear his incredible story. And so tonight, man, I'm dealing with a technical difficulty. I've got my cable service is not working right now, or cable or internet is working right now. And so I'm using the hotspot on my phone. And so hopefully it does what it needs to do. I'm glad to see y'all out there, Sister Bertha Johnson. I see you there in the chat area. Sister Naomi Hill, congratulations, Sister Naomi Hill from the Bethany Baptist Church of Dallas. Congratulations on being honored this weekend for being one of the members that's been a member over 50 years. I know you've been there even longer than 50 years. Hey, Sister Sheila Bryce, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Thank you so much for your continued support. Brother Daymond, Sister Sheila Bryce was with us that first night 3 years ago, March the 30th, the year 2020, when we started Pajama Praise.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so Pajama Praise wasn't a ministry then. It was just a one-night event that turned into a ministry. And here we are 3 years later. And so we're excited. And so, y'all, we want to remember again, last week we mentioned it, we talked about this, the passing of Pastor Stephan Berry. His services were this weekend. And so we want to remember Sister Latanja Copeland Berry and the rest of the family. Again, man, Pastor Berry was a great figure in the city, incredible pastor. Most people didn't know he was an incredible musician, man, just a phenomenal
bass player. Yes, sir.
Bass player. And so we remember him and his life and his contributions. And man, he was a good friend of mine, man. That's one I'm still trying to, move through, man. But it's hard knowing that Pastor Berry is no longer with us. And so again, we want to remember his family, his friends. We want to remember his church because they are without a shepherd right now. Well, the under shepherd, because God is their shepherd. But we want to remember them. And so, y'all, listen to next Monday. We're going to be live at New Fellowship Baptist Church. The O.D. White High School alumni group is having a revival. A group of alumni from O.D. White High School is having a revival beginning next Sunday. It's actually beginning next Sunday, the 26th at the New Fellowship Church. But on the 27th, we will be at the revival. We'll be doing the revival live. Pajama Praise will be at the revival at the New Fellowship Church. And so y'all join in with us. And then on that Tuesday, November the 28th, the reunion, O.D. White High School reunion choir will be singing. Miss Jewel Kelly will be directing the choir, and some of us will be singing with the choir. So next week is going to be O.D. Wyatt week, Oscar Dean Wyatt High School. I see you there, Deneen Kusnik. I hope I'm saying your Kusanik. I hope I'm saying your name correctly.
That's my sister. Yeah. Hey, Neen.
Okay, thank you. She says, "Hey, big brother, so proud of you."
She's a Cleveland Browns fan.
Okay,
We all are.
another Cleveland Browns fan. Sister Tamika Thomas, I see you there. Tamika's the organizer there. She's doing a great job putting things together. Thank you for joining us. And then my long time friend, Mr. Roy Wilson. Mr. Roy E. Wilson. Hey, Roy, how's it going? He said, I've known Daymond since he was born. I'm very
Oh,
proud of
Roy. Oh,
the
okay.
young man he has become.
He should be a
All right,
Cleveland Browns
Roy.
fan too. He should be a Cleveland
Listen,
Browns
hey,
fan too.
Daymond, Roy Wilson was my shopping buddy, man, on
Was he?
Saturdays. Man, when he was here, we'd head over to the Galleria and just shop till we dropped.
Oh my God. Oh, Roy.
Yeah.
Glenn just got
Roy,
finished telling me about all the clothes he got, and you responsible for that.
oh,
You
yeah,
helped
he's
him with
part
that.
of that. Hey, Daymond, you said you like Black Friday. One Black Friday, Roy and I got up. It was like at 4 or 5 in the morning. He's whipped through and picked me up, man, and we headed to the Galleria for Black Friday.
Oh my
But
God.
we're glad that you're with us today, Brother Roy Wilson. Listen, we're here tonight. I guess we're going to get into this interview. If for some reason we cut out, we're going to go to Facebook Live. And so y'all just hang with us. We're going to go Facebook Live because right now I'm using the hotspot. But we're going to have a word of prayer. Hey, Daymond, will you offer us a word of prayer? Because you're a minister too, right?
No, I'm not a minister.
No, well, give us a word of prayer anyway.
I got you. Lord, thank you for this gathering. I hope it's very informational. I hope it touches somebody. And don't let me do too bad today, Lord. These many other blessings we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Oh, all right, man. For that prayer. And so, man, thank you so much for being with us. Daymond, man, I've known you for a long time, man, and you've been a great guy ever since I've known you. And I know you've got an incredible story because you do various genres of music. And so, man, you have been on my list literally for about 3 years, and we finally nailed you down. And so tell us where you were born.
I was born in Cleveland, Ohio, home of the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
I think at Lakeside Hospital. I think I'm not sure if my mother's on here or not, but I think it was Lakeside Hospital, University Hospital, somewhere.
Okay.
Cleveland, Ohio, in '73. So there you go.
So I've never been to Cleveland. I've been to Cincinnati several times, and I've been to Columbus. So where does Cleveland sit?
Northeast Ohio. It's like you can get to Detroit in like 2 hours. You can get to Pennsylvania in an hour. I mean, it's like sits right there, northeast.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Couple hours from upstate New York. Yeah.
So y'all are close to New York?
Well, yeah, you can get to New York, like upstate New York, in like I think 2 or 3 hours going a certain way. Because we like right up there. Get to Detroit in like 2.5 hours. When I was on tour, I know I'm not trying to skip, but when I was on tour with like Charles Wolford, we would do a lot of shows in Michigan. And man, he'd come get me from our 4 o'clock service. We'd be in Michigan at 6:30, do the hit, and come back home. Wow. Yeah. So we would, yeah. So it like and like to put it in perspective, Cincinnati is I think 3.5 hours. It's like Houston. It's like from here to Houston. So it's going the other way. Columbus like 3 hours, but I didn't, when I was playing high school basketball, we would go down there and do tournaments and stuff, but nobody wanted to go to Columbus. No offense. We didn't want to go to Columbus. We Clevelanders stay in Cleveland,
Okay. And so how was it for you growing up in Cleveland? What was growing up in Cleveland like for you?
Early years, man, we grew up in the hood like everybody. East Cleveland,
Mhm,
Ohio, Shaw High School, Cardinals. I went to Shaw High
mhm,
School my freshman year. Then my mom moved to the suburbs, and so I finished my 10th through 12th grade years at Euclid High School, Euclid,
mhm.
Ohio, which is just a suburb of Cleveland. It's kind of like if you think about Crowley to Fort Worth.
Okay.
It's kind of reminds you of that, but it's like suburb.
So what about elementary and middle school? How was that
Oh, it was all
for
right. I
you?
went to a couple of different elementary schools, Superior, Mayfair, uh in my junior high, I went to Kirk Junior High in East Cleveland, and then my high school, Shaw, and then my 10th grade year, I went to Euclid High School.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
more suburban living.
And, and so what about your music? When did y'all have music in elementary, middle school, high school?
Man, believe it or not, I was in choir. I'm not a singer, but that's all we had
Okay.
was elementary school choir. Everybody was required to be in choir. I don't know how they do it in Texas, but we all, when you went through music, you was in the choir. I don't even remember having a elementary school band or nothing. I don't remember that.
Mhm,
I know now, in Texas they got 5th and 6th grade bands. I mean, I would imagine
mhm,
they had them. I just don't remember them.
mhm.
But I was in choir, and my dad played piano. Some people on my
Okay.
mom's side played instruments. I think my grandfather played. Um, but I didn't get into it. Like, it used to be an old raggedy piano in my grandmother's living room. I just sit down and touch every now and then. And
Mhm.
then, she was like, "You want to take some lessons?" I'm like, "Sure." And I tried it, but as soon as I got in, I made varsity basketball. So that was the end of
Okay.
that. So I kind of just dibbled and dabbled a little bit, and then kind of got serious about it. Like my transition from senior year to college. That's when I got
Mhm.
serious about it and start like literally shedding 15 hours a day. Like
So
like
so
every
now
every day
so
that summer.
now so now did you learn anything from choir that um, went over into your piano playing?
Not one bit. I mean,
Okay.
youth choir at church. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know how it was when you was coming up, but you would just hear those hymns all the time because we would have
Right,
like
right,
the hymn of Sunday. It'd be
right, right.
I think at one point, and man, I didn't pay a lot of attention in church when I was like 8 or 9.
Mhm,
To be honest with you. So we'd be up in the balcony, man, cutting up. You know, uh,
mhm,
and they would sing these. I think they would sing different hymns every Sunday, but I
mhm.
think then we got to the point to where we was just doing it once a month. I mean, doing one hymn a month,
The hymn of
so
the
it'd be
month.
the same, yeah, the hymn of the month. But they used to change it up, I thought, every week, but I could be mistaken. But that's kind of like how my ears, like, I knew the songs, I knew the tunes and stuff like that, but I really wasn't into playing or nothing like that. So I didn't really, you know. But a lot of stuff, I'm at the hymnal church now, Mount
So
Olive.
let me
So
ask you this. So would you say, and this is funny that you said it that way. So a lot of times in church, whereas we say we weren't paying attention, and they probably thought we weren't paying attention, you know, when you do something on a regular basis, especially as a routine, it becomes indoctrinated in you, whether you know it or not. Because when I look back on how I started playing, my mother bought my sisters an organ, and I started messing around on it. And so I started picking out some of the songs from church. And I don't know that I really had paid a lot of attention to the songs, but
mhm.
I could pick them out. Would you say that might have been the case with you?
Oh, definitely. I'm sure. Like, um, if my father sees this, he probably gonna kill me. But that Negro used to be late to church because he was a cop. So if he worked like night
Mhm,
shift, and his assignment was the mass choir at the time, and that Negro would come in late almost every first Sunday, because that's when the mass choir sang on first Sunday. And my uncle would be like, "Man, they about to jam now. Tony here." So it was like my mom and my dad can sing. I'm not a singer. My sister can sing. I think my little brother can even sing, but I'm not a singer, man. I can teach parts and stuff. I like sing enough false to teach parts, but not really. I ain't picking up no mic. You ain't gonna never be on our live stream and see me singing nothing. So,
Okay. So
but
I can't
yeah,
request
it stuck with me
a
though.
song.
It stuck with me though.
So
Huh?
so I can't request that Daymond Callahan do a song.
No. Oh no. I'll run out the church, man. I'll run out. Most of my friends
So
can
let me ask
sing.
you this. So now your dad played piano or organ?
I'm not gonna say he played. He
Okay.
dabbled on piano, and coincidentally, man, his favorite key was D. That's
D
the key.
major?
A lot D major. A lot of people stay away from that key, and
Yeah.
but that was his. I think I want to say he used to do like "Give Me a Clean Heart" in D or something. It was something weird, but I never seen him play in any other key but D.
Oh
So
wow.
like, and he had like a little piano, but he would never. I mean, he tried to sit down at church one time, man. That don't work. That don't fly. But I think one of the musicians was out. I don't. I was little then, but yeah, I know his favorite key was D. So, but he never
Hmm.
showed me nothing on piano. So,
Okay. So let me ask you this. So when you were growing up, who were the musicians of your day in Cleveland?
um, ooh, man, it's a bunch of them. The guy that taught me, I discovered later, was Dreen Ivy, Drene Ivy. He would go out and play like some jazz gigs and stuff, man. But the stuff this guy was showing me, man, I still use today. Like little
Hmm.
things, and he had perfect pitch. So, for those that don't know what perfect pitch is, like a song could be playing right now and he can just play it. He don't have to pick
Hmm.
see what key he already know,
Hmm.
kind of like Kermit Wells, our Kermit. So
Hmm.
this guy, he was showing me stuff because he was hanging around oh my God, what's the guy from Detroit? What's the real popular piano guy from Detroit? Write songs, Jeffrey LaValle. So he was
Jeffrey
hanging out with
Valley.
like Jeffrey LaValle them and doing different stuff. But he was he was an all around player, and like he's still popular. Like anybody that's worth anything that came out of Cleveland would say they would listen to Dream, except for maybe like the younger guys now. But most
Hmm.
guys my age, maybe 5 or 10 years younger, they all know Dream Ivy. He's like the guy. I think he since
Hmm.
moved to Japan. So he stays in
Okay.
Japan. He's doing like jazz shows over there and stuff like that. He was one
Hmm.
guy. There was another guy named Rodney Hubbard. Um,
Hmm.
his brother, well, I think they family wrote "You Are God Alone" for Marvin Sapp. Rodney
Hmm.
Hubbard. He played for like Jodeci. He did some big time gigs and stuff like that.
Okay.
There was a guy named James Sullivan that was at my granddad's church, Starlight Baptist Church in Cleveland, in East Cleveland.
Okay.
James Sullivan. We had an old musician. This lady was phenomenal. Her name was Sister Dews. She was blind, and she would show
Okay.
me like these fourth chords, man. Like it
Hmm.
was unbelievable. You would think that wouldn't come from her, but she would show me
Hmm.
like these crazy superimposed chords. Like, man, I'm like 9, 10 years old. Like, what the world is this? And didn't really know what it was or whatever. But I was just
Hmm.
blessed to be around those type people.
Hmm.
All different styles. Oh, I forgot about my godfather. He'd kill me. Glenn Brackens. He's like the classical guy.
Hmm.
He's
Okay.
like John Tatum out of
Oh yeah.
Dallas. He's
Yes.
like he's like Cleveland's John Tatum. That
Okay.
classical hymnal thing. Mark Davis, our Mark Davis, that is exactly who he is. He reminds you exactly of Mark Davis. So,
Okay.
I mean that the talent is just like ridiculous, So I
So
came
when
up
did you
around that.
start playing in the church?
So I told you I started piano lessons like my freshman year, but then I
Mm-hmm.
made varsity my 10th grade year. So I played varsity 10, 11, and 12. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so in between that time, I was still trying to get on our bus system we call it the RETA, the RTA. Trying to get on after basketball practice. That didn't last long. So what they
Mm-hmm.
decided to do is like, hey man, just play for the youth choir. So I would play for the youth. They'd let me, I'd be up there with my transposing self, everything
Mm-hmm.
transposed to E flat back then because I ain't know no other key. I was just happy to be playing. So, I'd be
Mm-hmm.
playing the little we had big Christmas musicals,
Mm-hmm.
where they call them concerts in Cleveland. Y'all call them musicals down here. But
Mm-hmm.
we'd do a big old Christmas concert, and that's kind of how I got into playing, got more excited. Back then, I think TM Youth Mass Choir was big, and the
Oh
Indiana
yeah.
State
Oh yeah.
Mass Choir, and that. So I was learning those things. So Dream Ivy, the guy that like really got me like up there with playing, was showing me these songs verbatim.
Mm-hmm.
So he had like, there's perfect pitch, and then you got that sticky perfect pitch where you can be riding down the street and writing out the song. That's what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
He was just saying, oh,
Right.
this is an E minor chord, this is an A7 chord, oh, this is a D7 plus chord, He was writing it as we riding in the car to his house, like seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would show me verbatim I remember he had an Ensoniq, what was that Ensoniq? It was one of them, what is it, TS10 or TS12 or something. And man,
Mm-hmm.
he would show me verbatim. So I didn't know what I was playing. I just knew I was playing the song as it was on the record, verbatim.
Right.
And so whenever I would play songs in those keys and stuff like that, I would remember those chords. So it kind of got me started. So I
Right.
kind of got you know, I got this high, so I didn't want to go back to the books. Every good
Right.
boy
Right.
does fine, and all cows. I didn't want to get back to that stuff. So what we did my senior year is he just showed me songs
Mm-hmm.
verbatim, whatever record I brought
So
him.
now, did you take theory, music, or choir, or band, or anything in
That
high school?
that school that my grandmother sent me to, I was learning every good boy does fine, all cows eat grass, and reading that way. But
Okay.
it was hard to stay on the book once I started playing for the youth choir because this guy was showing me stuff. You know how the books are. You got the C,
Mm-hmm.
E, G chords. Well, now it's turning into something totally different now. My
Mm-hmm.
ears are somewhere else, and that book part is left behind. So I knew how to read, but I wasn't fluent until I got to college, like
Mm-hmm.
where I could read chord charts and melody lines and stuff like that. So I kind of went backwards like most church musicians. You learn by ear
Mm-hmm.
first, and then if you wish to learn how
Mm-hmm.
to read, because you're so far out there now,
Right. Right.
it's like those books kind of like trash now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like that's not gonna help me. That's what you think, you know.
Right.
But
Right.
staying with those books kind of helped me do some of the big band gigs I do now. Go into a reading situation, I still be scared in a mug because I don't think
Mm-hmm.
I'm a proficient reader like that, like a Mark Davis or a John Tatum. You know what I'm saying? Like proficient
Mm-hmm.
like that. But I can read,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like,
And you can play
ooh,
it.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. I
so
can definitely hear it.
this is what an older musician told me years ago. He said that reading is a means to an end. I mean, although a lot of people can read it, but they can't play it.
Right,
And
right, right.
but I get you. And so you started playing for the youth choir. When did you evolve to the adult choir?
I think like I said, the summer of, as far as I can remember, I think
Mm-hmm.
the summer that I graduated from high school, that whole summer, I got
Mm-hmm.
like a scholarship for basketball to a junior college, but they
Okay.
didn't require me to be at school until regular fall. So it wasn't like I was playing football or anything. I had to go early. So that whole summer I stayed in Cleveland. Like I
Okay.
graduated like the 1st of June. I didn't leave till like the end of August, I think. And
Okay.
I I
Where
like I
was your
said,
scholarship to?
Keystone Junior College in LaPlume,
Okay.
Pennsylvania. And
Where?
I LaPlume in LaPlume, Pennsylvania. Yes.
Where is that?
I have no idea. It was 6 hours away from Cleveland. That's all I knew. 6 hours away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, terrible, man.
So did
Cornfields,
they
it's
find you or did you find them?
oh yeah, they found me, man. I was a pretty good basketball player in high school. Like we
Okay.
were I think number 3 in the state, number 2 or 3 in the state. We had
Okay.
like phenomenal basketball players. I was just short, man, and I got into it late. I was like a backyard basketball player that got discovered
Okay.
by the coach. And so I was lucky enough or blessed enough to make it I started my sophomore year. So I
Mm-hmm.
started all those years, and then I but to make a long story short, that my senior year is where I was telling you, like I was literally getting up and eating and sleeping and spitting music. Everything was music, 15 hours a day. We would have these like open gym moments at my old high school that they was like, hey man,
Mm-hmm.
come, because people will come if y'all come or whatever. So we would go and play. But outside those few hours, I was behind a keyboard all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
All day. I
Okay.
mean, 15 hours a day.
Well,
Like,
I get it.
like, like literally, like my mom's husband at the time, which was my stepfather, introduced me to Chick Corea. I was in there
Okay.
on them books, man. Everything was Chick. Everything was Chick Corea.
Oh, yeah.
Everything. I ain't know nothing about no Herbie Hancock, nothing. Chick Corea is the first artist that I like fell in love with, and that was
Mm-hmm.
it. So I was doing that in church music all day,
Okay.
15 hours a day, all
Okay.
summer, all summer. Leave from church. Sometimes I wouldn't even go to church, man. Stay home
Oh,
all
okay.
day, all day. But you know how it is. Oh man, the senior
You were
choir
hungry.
singing today. The senior choir
Yeah.
singing today. I ain't going to church. So the church gonna be boring today. The senior choir singing. So, man, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't learn their material. Man, I was a
So let me ask you
teenager.
this. So now how did you get to Texas? Because
Okay.
you know what? Somehow I met you when you first came here and at Pleasant Mount Gilead and what's the church on Harvey?
Elm Grove.
Elm Grove. So refresh my memory. How do I know you from Pleasant Mount Gilead and Elm Grove?
Okay, so here's the weird part. I got the scholarship, right? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
there. Man, I didn't even make it to basketball season. I was so
Okay.
enthralled with music that's all I did. That's all I tried out, made the team, everything. Probably
Mm-hmm.
was gonna start. I don't know. But then I always tell people the Lord spoke to me, and music was my focus. And I called my mother and told her, this is it for me. I don't even she's like, you don't want to wait till the end of the semester? Nope. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go now. Let's music is me. And man, I guess in so much trouble my senior year,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like my dad. So my dad, um, he's a pastor at a church now that he took over from my grandfather, but all
Okay.
growing up he was a cop. He was a
Okay.
beat cop. He was a walking the beat. He became a detective later. But man, he used to get me out of so much trouble as a senior.
Okay.
Man, I get pulled over in another city, man. Oh, my daddy a cop, yada yada. So I guess maybe he told my uncle I was coming. My uncle was pastoring down here at Elm Grove, and maybe my uncle told him he was looking for a musician. He said, "Well, Daymond home from school." He said, "What?" And man, I think I was home for like 3 or 4 hours before my uncle called my house phone. I was like, "Hey man, what do you think about coming to Texas?" Man, I left the school in November, like second week of November or whatever. I was down here the third week of November.
Okay.
He was
Wow.
like, "Man, come down and come down and play for me." So I mean, I was at home doing nothing, man. I mean, I didn't have
Mm,
no plan. Here I
mm,
am, this 19-year-old kid. I ain't had no plan at all, man. So, you know, I just end up coming down here.
mhm.
And
So what's the connection with Pleasant Mount Gilead?
I don't know. Maybe they was a part of our third Sunday night live service or
Did you
something.
ever
I don't
play
know.
there?
Mm-mm.
Did you
But
ever
we went,
play there?
but Texas churches, man. We had afternoon services every Sunday. So
Yeah,
maybe that's how you talking about Pleasant Mount Gilead in Como.
yeah.
Yeah, probably so. Probably so. They is probably connected with our third Sunday night fellowship. But my uncle Carl Small used to preach everywhere, so I would go with him and
Okay.
play. So maybe that's
Okay.
it. And then I don't know, but I know
Okay.
Pastor Pullum over there now, right? Kevin Pullum.
Yeah. But
Okay,
Pastor
yeah,
R.L. Sanders was there back
okay,
then.
okay, yeah, yeah. So
And so
probably
there's
yeah. I
some
never played
connection.
there. Yeah, I never
Yeah.
played there though.
So there's
Uh,
some connection. I don't know if they were in, well, they couldn't have been in the St. John Landmark because I think they were in another district
yeah.
association.
But they used to have that third Sunday night fellowship. That's how I met Kirk Franklin. And I think when I came down, it was in '92, so it was before his Reason Why We Sing record came out in summer of
Right.
'93. So Kirk, what church was Kirk at? Strangers Rest, right?
He's
At
probably
that
a
time.
stranger's rest
He
back
was
then.
at Strangers Rest, yeah. So it was Strangers Rest, and I think it was Pleasant Mount Gilead. It was a bunch of churches, Doc. That church that sit across from Poly now, Mount Carmel
Mm,
or something.
not
All
bad.
they was
Mm,
a part of the third Sunday night fellowship. It was a bunch of churches, like 20 churches, Doc.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
like so that's kind of how I met a lot of people, and hung out with a lot of people from that district just that one Sunday a month. I used to look forward to that because it was kind of cool, you know.
Well, you know what? Back then, so that's how we knew each other. That's how everybody knew each other. Because again, like you said, we did fellowship. We had 3 o'clock services. When I was
Man.
at my home church, Worth Hill, we went every Sunday. Then when I went to Harvey Avenue, we didn't do as many 3 o'clock services. But man, when I went to Rising Star, we had a three
Ooh.
o'clock service every Sunday. And then sometimes we still have night service. But that's how we knew the musicians in the
Uh-huh.
city. That's how we knew each other because of the fellowship. Now, man, I know very few of the musicians unless they were back in the day musicians.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's quite a and for some
And
reason this area is where people move to from all over the country. Like you don't know who here, or
mhm.
you just hear about guys now.
Right.
Yeah. So
And
so
so
that
once you got here, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. It's good.
So once you got here and you were rocking and rolling at Elm Grove,
Mm-hmm.
um, how long were you at Elm Grove?
Ooh. Mm. Man, I want to say 3 years before uh I don't want to get nobody in trouble, but before the lady that was playing with me started accusing me of playing jazz chords and took me before the deacons.
Look, hey, were you
Ah,
playing jazz club?
ooh. Man, I was playing
Hey,
whatever I knew.
were,
I'm sure I got some Chick Corea in there and some everything up in there, but all she could play in was G. So, hey
Okay.
man, so it was kind of behind. So I think that's like my first really teaching experience was at Elm Grove. I think I taught all I Need by Thomas Whitfield. It was like my first time ever teaching anything because we had to get out of a
Okay.
rut. She was how they bang on, they get that all that
Okay.
foolishness going on, and but that's what she was, and she did it in G all the time. So but anyway, make a long story short, after that, man, what well, I ain't gonna say this guy name, but I met a guy. My uncle introduced me to a guy. um it's almost bad karma to mention his name, but I ain't gonna mention his name. But he was playing at a church called Charity Church, and which at that time was a great church, great preacher. Ron May still can
Right,
preach.
right,
Um,
right, right,
but they
right.
were they were they were they were having people join by the groves, doc, like 20,
Yeah, yeah,
25
yeah.
people a Sunday, which is no joke. And they was over on Stewart. And he said, "Hey man,
Right.
shoot, what's called it tripping over there? I ain't gonna mention her name. She tripping over there, man. You can come over here." So my uncle
Yeah.
figured out a way, which was the pastor of Elm Grove. He said, "Well, man, you can go over there 2 Sundays a month, but play for me 2 Sundays." I said, "Cool, no
Okay.
problem." So I was playing at
Okay.
Charity Church, which was this. You know how they
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
back in 95, 96. I
Oh
mean,
yeah. Oh
doc,
yeah.
it was like the church. It was like Philadelphia, then them. Like as
Right.
far as
Right.
young
Right.
people go, it
Right.
was like when Great Commission took off. It kind of reminds me of when Great Commission took off. Like with the young church, that movement. Kind of like Ramp Church is now, and
Right.
City of Faith is now with Chan Horton. Got that young movement going, and
Right.
that's how.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Um,
man. Pastor Mays, man, that Joker can preach, man, and
yeah,
he could hold the audience's attention. You know.
yeah, yeah. So I was over there. So you got this big progressive church, and then I go to this other to go to Elm Grove, man. It's like, oh Lord. So eventually, I had to work my way up out of there, and me and my uncle spoke about it,
Mhm.
and I said, "Man, I gotta move," because it's like a
Yeah.
freight train over there
Man,
at Charity Church.
I forgot you were at the charity church.
Yeah, so it was a
Yeah,
freight
I
train
forgot you
over
were over
there.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I was there for about 2 years. Then I left. I'm not sure where I went. I think I might I don't know where. I can't tell you where I went. Did I move out of town?
Mhm.
Anyway, I ended up back there in 98 as the minister of music.
Okay.
So I was
Okay.
over that particular movement, and then I end up moving back to Cleveland in 2000. I think it was in
It
Cleveland for two
seemed like
years.
I remember you going back to Cleveland.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
went back to Cleveland to play for my granddad's church, and then
Okay.
I got my first taste of the road. Then I started
Okay.
playing with an artist named Charles Wolford. I don't know if you remember him, but
Mhm.
back in 98, or maybe a little
Mhm.
bit before that, he got signed by Fred Hammond's label, whatever Fred Hammond label. Fred produced his first record, and so I started
Okay.
touring with Charles, and that's what I was telling you to do, was picking me up from my 4 o'clock service. We'd go out. Like one time we did a gig at Dietrich's dad's church, and so we went out to
Dietrich
Detroit.
Hack.
Yeah, and so we did that.
Okay.
That's when I first met Gerald Haddon. I mean, I've been blessed to meet some people, man, and man,
Now who is
me
Jeremy?
Gerald Haddon is you ever heard Gerald and Tammy Haddon?
Mm-mm.
Uh, our God is an awesome God. He reigns forever and ever.
Okay.
They do that. I think that's like the most popular tune they do. But he's been a producer and keyboard player forever, and he did all those Dietrich
Okay.
Haddon records, all that stuff from the beginning. that Dietrich did in the beginning. That's all Gerald.
Mhm.
Um, and we got an opportunity to meet with him, man. That was worth the trip. Now you know how gospel
Mhm.
people is when it comes to paying. So so man, the McDonald's money didn't really count that night, but meeting Gerald Hatton was
Right,
everything because he showed me stuff about production and stuff like that, all in like 2 or 3 hours, man, to talking to him. And
right, right.
that was really cool. And then from Cleveland, I was out with Charles Woodford and got we did a just like a little mini tour, and we ended up at this church in Raleigh, North Carolina called Word of God Fellowship. And the preacher used to
Mhm.
I knew the preacher from BET, Bishop
Mhm.
Frank Summerfield. He would come on
Mhm.
BET, I think once a week, once a week. But I knew him because I would always watch him.
Mhm.
And man, I was sitting back in the green room after the service, and he was like, "Hey, man, would you consider coming playing for us?" And I said, "What?"
Mhm.
It's like a mega ministry, doc. And so
Right.
that's what I've been asking God for. And he gave it to me. And,
Mhm.
I stayed there for about 3 years. And
Hmm.
I was like, yeah, let me at that time I was married, and I sent them back to Texas because I knew I
Mhm.
was gonna make that move back to Texas. And so
Right.
I made that move and came back. And that's when I got to Mount Olive in 2004. That's when I got there, and
You went to Mount Olive in 2004?
I've been there since 2004. Yep, yep,
Oh,
yep.
wow, man, you've been there a minute.
Yeah,
You coming
Michelle
up
Fisher.
on 20 years.
Yeah, Michelle Fisher hired me. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
man, we have to do a 20-year anniversary for you. You got a white suit and some white shoes.
I got some white shoes. I ain't got no white suit, doc. I ain't got no white suit, doc. No, man.
Yeah, man,
Uh-uh.
20 years. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Well, I did not know you had been there that long, but you know what, man? Time has flown by, you know?
Yeah, man. I don't that little short time moving from church to church, that wasn't my vibe. So once I
Mhm.
got with Dr. Glenn, I mean he could preach, and Michelle was pretty much running everything, man. It was like uh smooth airplane ride, Doc. I had to deal with no
Mhm.
nothing. She handled
Mhm.
everything, and we show up to play when we told to play. And that was it. And I was doing
Mhm.
I got back into the rhythm of doing my little jazz and pop gigs and all that stuff. And, you
Mhm.
know, toured.
So,
That's the
so,
one good thing about Mount Olive is that we're salary. So
mhm.
whether you're there or not, you get paid, which is like,
Mhm. Mhm.
you know, yeah, you've played for some churches, you know what I'm saying? So,
Unheard of
um,
in churches.
yeah, yeah. So, like, I know 1 month during that time, I was gone like almost every Sunday, and I asked Michelle. I said, "Do you think I should?" She said, "No, boy, you'll be fine. You've been faithful. Don't worry about it." And Pastor Glenn never once questioned anything about nothing, man. And once I figured out he had my back, that's a good place to stay. That's a good place to stay.
Right.
So, we've built a relationship over the years. So it's kind of cool.
And so
I'm
you've
sure
been
he
there almost 20 years. And so you you're over the music department now? You running the music department or
well, hmm, yes. Right now I am the ministry leader right now until we
Mhm.
find what we're comfortable with. And you know how that can
Mhm.
be. So
Right, right.
you get people that will treat it like a gig. You get people that will treat it like secondary job, and not be focused. And that's what we don't want. We don't want nobody not focused.
Mhm.
We willing to wait. And right now the music is going higher, just with
Right.
people helping me. Steph, First Lady helps. We got a young cat,
Mhm.
Jeremy, that helps. But the overall praise team is um just strong. People, to be honest with you, people that didn't come to every rehearsal, um, not always on time. When COVID hit, everybody, their focus changed. Everybody got there.
Right.
We're not perfect people, but
Right.
I don't have cats walking in 30 minutes late every Sunday either.
Right. Right.
So the focus is really there. And we're trying to bring the choir back because after we lost the last guy, we kind of stopped the choir until we get everything together.
Mhm.
So, but we
Right.
patient. We're patient in this, and I've
Right.
been there for 20 years. I know the ins and outs, and what I don't know, I ask. But we do got good people, man. We got people
Right.
that done been on the road,
Right.
and then we just got church people, and it's like six of us, and for the most part, everybody's there all the time.
Right.
Close to time, not always on time, but not
Mhm.
30 minutes late either. Or if they're gonna be late, they call. I mean, it's like being on the road, Doc. It's
Right.
like, it's
Right.
it's really we really been blessed over these last, this last year or so. We really been blessed because,
Mhm.
when the cat left, we just picked it up and kept it rolling.
Yeah.
And
Right. Right.
but before that, I'm really over media and sound. That's what I do.
Mhm.
So I control the live stream, got great volunteers. Um got people that mix the live
Mhm.
stream, mix the service, all that stuff. And training them to be better.
Mhm.
And even like if
Mhm.
I have something that I can't do, I'll send them because I trust them.
Mhm.
So they'll go and run it
Right.
and make
Right.
that money. They'll go make that money because they volunteers at the church.
So
So the
so now, do
avenue
you have
is
that system where you can do you have that system where you can control the board from your instrument?
yes, yes. Yeah, they walk around with iPads. Nobody really stands at the board. So they walking around in the church to get, because we got those big windows back there. They sit behind the window. They can't really hear back there, So I have
Mhm.
them. They got iPads and everything, and they just walk around the church, man, make sure everything right. Um, and it's
Mhm.
getting better too, So like when you hear us on the live stream, we got a guy just for live stream mix. And then we got
Okay.
a couple of guys that do. So they all switch out. One might do live stream one week, one might do house sound. I always do monitors because I'm sitting up there. But the thing at our
Okay.
church is all we have to worry about is the pastor's monitor, because all our praise team got in-ear monitors. So they
Okay.
can control their own mix. If they need something louder, they
Hmm.
can tell me they want something louder. Or if they bring their iPad, they can turn it up themselves. So we don't really use the stage monitor at all. You
Oh
know.
man, y'all are highly sophisticated over there, Doc.
Well,
When the praise team members can control their own sound, golly.
well, we try to. Dr. Glenn want to
Now,
keep
did
it
you
is.
install that?
Yeah, installed all of it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I wasn't gonna jump to your business yet because I wanted to talk about you as a jazz musician and some of the other things. But while we're talking about that, tell us a bit about your business.
I just have like an install business. We install everything: lights, cameras, sound. We do all that. We've installed cameras for Ramp Church,
Mm-hmm.
Ramp Church, Texas. We've installed for of course my church. We do everything over there.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on Mount Zion Baptist Church over in Como. We're about to install cameras and stuff over there, fly people into this company I use to do LED walls. They bring in their own people and connect.
Mhm.
So Mount Zion's about to do it. Dang, it's so many churches. Patrick Turner's church. I can't even think of the name of his church right now. But it's about
Say,
20,
man,
20 churches we
boy,
done did business
you
for.
sure are bringing out the Ohio people tonight, man.
They
Will
all here.
Sutters didn't even watch the
Oh, that's my
show,
boy.
man.
That's my
Man,
boy.
Will
I
on
watched that
tonight. You know,
show. I watched that show. Yeah.
he was on with him about 2 months ago, but Ohio is up in the house. I think Will is a Browns fan too.
He ought to be. That's right. I'm telling you, man. Hey, you grew up in Cleveland, man. Hey, yeah, you root for them Cavs and them Browns.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. Ain't
So
nothing else to
so
do up there, man.
but you do quite a few installs, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, we're working on
Mm,
Mount Zion now, and we got a couple other people that's trying. Everybody's trying to install these TVs and stuff, but now everybody's getting hip to the LED walls now.
mm,
So I got a company out of Florida I use. I would like to know about more companies around here, but some of
mm.
these people can't be trusted. I
Oh,
won't mention nobody's name, but gotta watch, gotta be careful. So we bring these guys in from Florida, man. They had our I don't know if you've been over to our church lately or watched our live stream, but we got LED walls up. Man, they put them
oh,
up in six
really?
hours. Yeah, 6 hours, doc. 6 hours.
Okay. I'm about to come
Um,
over there and check that out.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mhm,
yeah. It's really cool. It's really cool. But that's what we do. We trustworthy. And the thing about us is that we will send people over to your church on a Sunday.
mhm.
These
Okay.
no offense to our Caucasian brothers and sisters and stuff that these companies, all these big churches want to run to, but they ain't sending people to your church on no Sunday when you got a problem.
Right,
We
right,
we'll
right,
we'll send them. And I got friends of mine that got businesses in DFW. They'll send people to your church on a Sunday. Y'all stop
right,
going to all
right,
these other people. I'm gonna say that,
right,
because when you gonna notice the problem, you're not gonna notice it on a Tuesday or Wednesday. You're gonna notice it on a Saturday or Sunday when you need them.
right,
And when we send
right.
those people over, man, whether it's sound or something wrong with your LED wall or whatever we can do, if we can fix it,
So
we
man,
do
I
it.
want to see this LED wall, man. I'm gonna come over there. I'm gonna come over there. What
Mhm.
day y'all rehearse?
On Tuesdays.
Okay, I'm gonna come over
Yeah, we
there.
won't be there tomorrow because Easter week, but we'll be there next week. Yeah, and
Okay.
you can and you can tune in on
Yeah,
the live
man.
stream and check it out.
Yeah, but okay, okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
man. And so before we go, I want you to type in how they can contact you. Um, contact you. Your phone number or your website.
Okay, can I just type on this thing right here?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh shoot, I just man.
You send it in the private chat.
Yeah. Is that not it? I don't know what to do. Or should I do it on
Okay.
Facebook?
Yeah, just do it on Facebook.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it before we end. But yeah, but that's what we do, man. And like I said,
So
being go
tell
ahead.
us about you as a jazz musician.
Man, like I said, I started out with Chick Corea. My mom's husband introduced me to that. I think I had the I mean, if you're a jazzer, you know. If you know, you know. I had the Cascade record and I had the Chick Corea Electric Band record. And those are the two records I kind of cut my teeth on. Um, just learning them verbatim. And I've forgotten a lot of them now. I still know got a match and stuff like that. But uh I kind of cut my teeth on that a little bit. And so when I came down here, I knew how to play stuff, but I really wasn't a reader. And then
Mm-hmm.
uh when I first got down here, my uncle was telling me about this school called, I think it was TCJC at the time. Tarrant County Junior
Mhm.
College, and he was thinking about enrolling and doing some courses and stuff. And he was like, "You should go talk to the music teacher over there." So I went over there. Happened to be a guy who is now like I call him my white father, Rick Stitzel, and
Rick
he
Stinsel,
kind of
yeah.
yeah he kind of took me up under his wing. It was like the end of the semester, and he said, "Hey
Mhm.
man, go buy this book." So he told me to go buy the Dan Hurley scale book, and I brought
Okay.
it to him, and he wrote out all the fingerings in the book for all the scales and everything. He said, "You learn this, come back, enroll in the jazz program in January," and that's when I took off, man. He kind of had
Mhm.
me playing everywhere. Then I met Dwayne Washington from OD
Yeah, yeah,
Wyatt. Did my
yeah.
first gig with Dwayne. I did no jazz gigs. I was just playing in my bedroom, man. And
Okay.
met Dwayne Washington, and Dwayne kind of
Mhm.
introduced me to like jazz in between him
Mhm.
and Rick Stitzel in the city. So I was doing all
Right.
these like contemporary gigs with Dwayne. Dwayne was in the big band with me, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, Dwayne Washington was in the big band with me. So we became really good friends. And I was just playing all over the city with him, and then kind of branched out on my own, met like Johnny Case from the classic Sardines restaurant that used to be on Camp Bowie.
Okay. Yeah.
Then Johnny started letting me sit in for him. So I met a
Yeah.
lot more people, and it
Mhm.
kind of grew from there, playing first of all, cutting your teeth down at, sardines is just that's another thing. Not many guys can say they did that.
Right. Right.
Not many church guys.
Right. Right.
But you got to know what you're talking about fooling with Johnny Case. So that was fun. That was fun. And that's kind of how I got introduced um to it. Um
Mhm.
that way, and kind of shot up that way. And I'm,
Mhm.
right now I just pick what gigs I want to play. Now I hold a
Mhm.
gig down at the Wine House in Fort Worth, on Park Avenue, every other week.
Okay.
I think I'll be there again on December 1st. Um, but I'm normally there every other week, but sometimes it just varies, depends on because it's only a few groups that play there. But
Mhm.
that's really like the only place I really play out at now. I do like
Mhm.
some other stuff that
Right.
kind of get me by like that. Like I was in Tyler this weekend with a pop group, but
Mhm.
I do that because the money's good in that. It's not the
Right.
$100, $150. It's not that. So
That's
a
good.
lot of us church guys go out and do these pop, because the pop bands now are like rock stars around here, Doc. They fly to Phoenix, they fly to LA, they fly to New York. And man, I got paid for one pop band. I went to Minnesota, and it was cold in the mug out there. Man, they paid
Mhm.
$100. And you know where they had me staying? The Four Seasons.
Right. They
Yeah,
paid you how much?
$600
They,
for one night.
okay.
2 hours of
Okay.
playing, 3 hours of playing. And man, it's not, I mean, you can't name me not one church gig that pay that. I mean, not church gig, but a church road gig with these
Right.
artists,
Right. Right.
that want to pay
Right.
you
Right.
$150, 200. No, man, I can stay home for that and make that money here. So,
Right. Right.
I don't do that. And I'm not going to talk about them behind their back and all that stuff, because they not,
Right.
they budget is they budget, but these
Right.
pop
Right.
bands are paying a whole lot more than that. Now I am a believer. I am a believer in consistent money. That's why
Right.
I will never. I try not to ever be away from my church on a Sunday,
Right.
unless I'm
Right.
on vacation or something. But I'm not
Right.
going to play some gospel artist gig and miss my morning service for what?
Right.
They not. First of all, they're not paying enough. Number
Right.
two, they ain't paying enough. Number three, they ain't paying enough. So it
Yeah.
just ain't. And if I do ever go out, and I try to tell all my friends this, like, if I'm gonna go out and if I'm making $600 from my church on a Sunday,
Mhm.
the gospel artists have to pay me the $600 I'm missing and what
Right.
my fee is for them.
Right.
And
Right.
most of them not gonna do that, and I'm fine with that. That's why I
Right.
stay my
Right.
butt at home. I'll be at Mount Olive every Sunday. I'm
So
not
now
going. I
you
don't.
played a little. So you played a little while with um, every step that I take, every move that I make.
Who was that?
R&B. Uh,
Who?
what's his name? Uh, you told me you played with the guy that sings for you.
Oh, Kenny Lattimore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was with the tour I did in transition from Raleigh to back to Fort Worth. I did a 6-month tour with Latarius actually stays here in Dallas. Latarius R. Whitfield.
Mm-hmm.
He has a pop what is it? Wives. I forgot his podcast, whatever. I can't remember what it's called, but it's really popular and it's doing really, really good. But he was the playwright for that. It was Kenny Lattimore, Shantae Moore, Little G from Silk, um, Dottie Peoples, my mother,
Mm-hmm.
um, my mother in
Mm-hmm.
ministry. She took care of us out there on that road. Who
Okay.
else? Lenny Williams from Tower of Power. Um, and I can't remember who else it was, but it was a really good cast. But 6 months, and I asked the Lord
Mm-hmm.
for that too. And after that, I said, Lord, no more. I don't want to do no more plays. No, it was just too much, man. I had a family,
Really?
and yeah, it was just way. I mean, we was out for 6 months, like basically not coming home. Like I came home once in February and once in April, and then the tour was over at the end of May. So I came home
Mm-hmm.
3 times in 6 months. So that
Well,
wasn't my vibe at
right.
all. So I started doing spot dates with people. Whenever tours came up, I always reject because a friend of mine, Kyrie, who's played for Usher, he just finished the Beyonce tour. He said, "Man, that money ain't worth it, unless it's 30,000 a month." That's how much he was making out on the
Mm-hmm.
road with Usher. So,
Mm-hmm.
man, the little bitty money they pay, by the time you
Right.
pay your bills, man, you barely got enough to buy you some Jordans or something, so
Right.
so I started doing spot dates. Basically I became the Suge Knight of gigging. I dictated what I did and dictated what I
Not the
didn't.
Suge Knight.
Yeah, doc. Yeah, doc. Because they try to make you feel bad not going out making this little money. And I said I can stay
Right.
home. I can stay home, and I don't call and compete for tours or anything like that because you don't have to. It's enough money for everybody out here. And like my friends will tell you, that's gigging. That's truly the guys that's really gigging. Man, they go
Mm-hmm.
out with whoever pop these little local pop bands around here, man, and
Mm-hmm.
make $500-$600 a night. They don't really
Right.
and go and make their church money, and then if they got a 9 to 5, that's even better. You
Right.
don't have to compete for gigs and stuff like that, and talk behind people's back and all that stuff. I don't have to do that, and I don't have to sleep in no funky hotels either, or stay on some stupid bus because that's what y'all can do. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that no
Right.
more. So I call my own shots. As
Right.
far as going out on the road, I go out with whoever I want to go out with, and that be
Mm-hmm.
that, man. And if I think it's
Right.
enough money, all money ain't good money. All
Right.
money ain't
Right.
good money. So I rejected a gig today that was gonna pay $350 versus $100 because I gave my word that I would be at this $100 gig, and
Right.
I really could use that money for Christmas, but I believe
Mm.
that later my word, I mean, it has value
True.
now, but
True.
I don't
True.
want to, do that. All money ain't good
Right.
money, so
Right.
you know.
Wow, man. Yeah. So, man, that's really enlightening, man, because we've got young people that are coming along, man. You know what? I was fortunate because when I came along, it wasn't a whole bunch of musicians out there.
Uh
So look, I was gigging every Sunday at somebody's musical. But
huh.
as time came, the younger musicians came along, and they learned a couple of licks, and so people could get them cheaper, and so
Hmm.
there you have it.
Yeah.
but man, it's a matter of professionalism, and I like what you said, man. When you keep your word to people. I had to tell my son that just last week. Look, and he stood me up. I told him, man. I said, when you tell people you're gonna do something, do it. If you can't do it, just tell them you can't do it.
Right. Right.
But man, I like that integrity, man, that you have. Ever since I've known you, you've been pretty much straightforward guy. Wasn't
Hmm.
beating around the bush, and were a person of integrity. And so, man, you doing a lot, man. You doing your church music. You doing your road stuff. You doing your gigs, and also you doing some recording. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm I do like I got like a little studio at my house, and then like whenever we do stuff like during COVID season we was recording videos and stuff at the church. So the church is pretty
Okay.
much set up for that too. Um obviously more professional than my than my little studio at home, but
Mm-hmm.
um you know I I've done some jazz recordings with Ahmad Johnson. I think we talked about this the other day. We did a
Mm-hmm.
couple. We do like some concerts around town sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I played a gig with him probably a couple weeks ago. But we got a couple records out on iTunes. You should check them out. He got a couple
Okay.
solo records. I got some solo records on iTunes too. But
Okay.
my thing that I'm really working on right now is that I play at Mount Olive at 9. Um, but at 11 I play at a smaller church, Preparations for Life. Pastor Joe Washington, Joe Jr. used to sing with one
I think
accord.
so.
Well, sings with one
Yeah.
accord.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna work on his EP for 2024.
Okay.
And then Andrew Kirkland, Tree of Life Funeral Home.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna
Yeah.
do an EP too in
Okay.
24. So I'm working on that too. Um, they just like two of my favorite singers. So I was like, man, let's do this. They was like, shoot, yeah, let's do it. So
Mm-hmm.
they'll be working on their own separate stuff, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun. That's something to look forward to in 2024. Um, I'm working on like this piano lesson YouTube thing called DC Music U on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to upload videos. Kermit did some videos. Kermit Wells,
Mm-hmm.
Mark Davis, me. Who else? Dreen Ivy, who taught me in Cleveland. He did a couple of videos. Young
Okay.
cat out of Cleveland named Phil Jones. Oh my God, ridiculous on piano and organ. He did some videos, so I'll be putting those up. Moment, I get you all the information so you can let people know when I release them.
Okay.
And it's free. It's free. It wasn't free for me. But
Okay.
it's free. It's just something I'm trying to kind of get some, because everybody's doing that. Everybody, you go to YouTube, everybody get this lesson, that lesson, and stuff. But
Mhm.
it's I recorded them a long time ago, and so I'm trying to keep up and stay current with that. But I'm doing so much that, man, I really need an assistant, but I can't afford an assistant right now. So,
Yeah, yeah,
so if I could get me an assistant, man, that'd be great. But until I can afford one, man, we just gonna have to move as I move.
right,
But
right.
that's some of the current stuff I'm working on. And anybody that knows me know I'm a gamer. So I play the
Mhm.
Xbox and PS5 and
Oh,
all that stuff, man. We compete in tournaments, we play Fortnite. Man, it's so
oh,
crazy. Uh I might not see my grandkids for months, but I always hear them because they be on Fortnite playing with me on Fortnite, some of them. And I was just hanging out with my little granddaughter. She's 9. She's like, Papa, I play Fortnite. I said, what? What is your gamer
what?
tag? So, I mean,
So
it's all
now what is Fortnite?
it's like a open world game. You play against
Okay,
other people and stuff like that. And it's cool.
okay,
Yeah, it's cool.
okay.
Yeah, a lot of kids, like probably some of your students be playing. Yeah, they be They be on that, man. That Fortnite, and I know you probably know about Call of Duty and John Madden, all that stuff. We do that.
Oh, I've heard them talk about it. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, we do all that. We do all that, man. We do. And, as
yeah.
musicians, we talk.
Uh, when my kids were younger, we bought all those video games, the PS1, the PS2, and then there was another one.
Yeah,
Can't think
PS3,
of
PS4, yeah, the Xbox. Yes,
the
sir.
Xbox. Yeah,
Yes,
I remember
sir.
having to register with Microsoft for the
Mm-hmm.
Xbox or something.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Yeah, man.
Well, but
Yeah.
listen, man, this has been an incredible interview, man. I knew you were doing a lot, but I didn't know you were doing all of this stuff, man. I'm
Yeah.
glad that I was able to nail you down, because when we tried to get it before, you were busy, you were gigging somewhere, but we were finally able to nail you down. And like I say, man, you've been on my list for like 3 years. I made a list of the musicians that I knew that I wanted to interview, and you were on my list early, man. And I'm glad that we were able to get you in to share your story. I mean, it's a very, very inspirational story about how the Lord has used you, not only as a gospel musician, but I believe that God puts us in situations sometimes to play other genres of music,
Yeah.
because people say, "Oh, that's Satan's music." Satan don't own no music,
No.
uh,
No.
Everything belongs to God. I know that Satan can warp things, and and take something good and make it bad. But a lot of times, man, when God's people are out in other settings, even your light will even shine in those situations.
Yeah.
And so it looks like the Lord has used you greatly, man. And so, man, we're looking forward to you getting your website up and going. Hurry up, get it up so I can go there and get me some chords,
Yeah. I got you,
So
man.
I so I go back to church and do some licks. And they're like, "Oh man, that's cold," But
Yeah,
yeah, man.
man.
Again, thank you so much, man. It's already 10:12, man, and so my hotspot held up, man,
Hey,
and
man. I was praying that it hold up.
yeah, and Spectrum still has not. I'm
Oh,
still waiting on the
man.
light to go blue on
Oh,
my
man. The thing
router.
still blinking, huh? Still blinking.
Still blinking, man. But
Yeah.
God is good, man. And again, thank you so much, man, for sharing with us tonight. I mean, again, you had an incredible story. I want to do a shout out to some of the people that are on with us tonight. That's one of the things I always do on the show when people uh, uh, log in to watch us. I always call their name because I think people are important. Thank you, Keneal Wilson, for joining us. Professor Reginald Wright, all the way from Baylor University. Thank you
Reggie.
for watching. First Lady Pamela Watson Daniels, thank you so much for your support of this ministry. You were there with us that first night. Thank you so much, First Lady Daniels. Brother Jeremy Strange, thank you, sir. Another great musician, another music person that does a lot of
Great sound
stuff.
man. Great sound man, too. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Brother, Sister Cartwright, Letitia Cartwright, I guess that's what it is. Thank you for watching. Brother Jermaine Marsh is another
Oh, my
great
boy.
keyboardist.
Yeah.
Catrice Reed with Loving Yourself Inside and Out Ministries. Y'all watch Catrice's page because as the seasons are gearing up, they're doing a lot of outreach events. So y'all keep up with Catrice Reed, those of you that are helping people or need help during the holiday season. Sister Viola Tate, thank you for being with us.
Oh,
My
Viola.
good friend all the way from Texarkana, Texas, another great musician and songstress, Sister Faye Davis. Thank you Sister Faye Davis, Brother James Callies. Brother James,
Oh,
type in
Jamie.
if you went to OD Wide. I think,
Yeah, he went to wide.
James, I think somebody told me you went. Did he? Okay. Brother James, you need to come and play with us next week at the revival over at
Get him there.
New
Get him there, Doc.
Fellowship. Let's see who else we have here. Sister Catherine Holmes. Thank you, Catherine, for your own support. Jamian J. Skills Thompson. Thank you. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Jamian. Brother Aaron Henry, man, one of the best drummers in this country.
Get him to that
Thank
revival
you
too,
for being
man.
with us, Brother Aaron Henry. Huh?
I said, get him to
What you
that
say?
revival too. He went to Wyatt.
That's right, Aaron. I mentioned your name. Hopefully, you can come and sit in with us next week for the revival. Sister Tamika Thomas, the organizer of the revival, thank you for supporting the show. Brother Kenneth Carr, thank you for joining us, Brother Kenneth Carr. Sister Bertha Johnson, thank you for hanging with us. Brother Eric Burdine, longtime friend, thank you,
Big time.
Brother Eric, for being with us. And then all the way from Cleveland, Ohio, via Arizona, Will Sutton. Will, we're going to get you and Daymond some Dallas Cowboy jerseys so y'all can come on with it.
Hey, man, I got some Dallas gear. I root for Dallas too, just not when they play the Browns, man.
Okay. And then my longtime friend, Patrick Wright. I remember when Pat Wright started playing. Pat, you still on the road? Sister Debbie Washington, thank you, Debbie, for being with us tonight. Pastor Travis Dow. Hey, Pastor Dow.
Travis. He was the drummer when I started at Mount Olive.
As a percussionist, man, that joker could play some drums. Hey, man, how'd you get all these people on this show tonight, man?
Man, hey, Travis can preach too. Travis was playing behind them drums, but they say that boy can preach.
Yeah, I've heard him on YouTube. On Facebook a couple of times. Ministry, Brother Ivan Tober. Ivan, man, hopefully you can come one night or a couple of nights to the revival next week. Brother Corey Guy, another great musician in the city. Thank you for joining us, Brother Corey. Brother Corey, I got to get you on Pajama Praise to interview you, man. Sister Gay Goss, thank you for being with us. First Lady Deborah Bowman Nickerson, long time friend. Pastor Howard McLean. Pastor McLean said, he said, I remember when my wife was a member of Elm Grove, that's when I first met Daymond. They would go do musicals. I would go to Pastor Small home. Daymond had the basement set up with music. He really did practice a lot. All right, Pastor McLean. Tell the story. Sister Andrea Sanders, listen, Daymond, Sister Andrea Sanders is one of the reasons that Pajama Praise kept going, because I was only going to do 2 nights. I did one Monday, and then they said, we'll see you next week for Pajama Praise. So I did it another Monday. And so that third week, I was tired. I wasn't going to do it. And before I left work that day, Andrea Sanders said, we'll see y'all tonight for Pajama Praise.
Oh, wow.
And so she is one of the inspirations behind us keeping this ministry going. Sister Katie Calhoun Jordan, thank you for joining us. Sister Katie Calhoun Jordan, Sister Katie's mother and brother were great musicians in this city, brother.
Carl Calhoun, right? Yeah. That's my boy. Best friend.
Today, Calhoun, we don't ever want to forget them. Oh, no. Brother Reggie Gerald, my good friend. We were at Rising Star together. Dr. Demetria Campbell, thank you for being with us tonight.
Demetria.
Sister Jonica Monique Castleberry, man, listen, Jonica.
Hey, Jonica.
Castleberry is one of the trailblazers in this city, man. She was singing back and recording back in the day when nobody was. So thank you for joining us, Jonica. My classmate, Sister Jackie Foster Kelton, thank you for being with us, Jackie. It was good to see you at rehearsal this past Saturday. Sister Cynthia Casey, thank you so much. Then my friend all the way from Montgomery, Brother Roy Wilson, who lived in Cleveland for a while. Thank you guys so much. Sister Sheila Bryce, who was there with us that first night. We did Pajama Praise. Just the host, man. Daymond, we have a great host of people that support this ministry. And man, I am just grateful for their presence. Pastor Jack Crane often talks about the power of presence. Yeah. And so, man, sometimes having people around, their presence, they don't have to give any money or nothing like that, man, but just their presence is important. And so also, I think your mother is on with us, Brother Callahan.
Number one fan. She's my number one fan, Doc. Number one fan.
I think she goes under the title of Virgo on here. She said, you blocked us on Facebook Live, so I was not able to stop my son. I did show him out on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, she's blocked?
I don't know. I'm not sure about that because I haven't blocked anyone. And then we have somebody. So we have several people that are watching via YouTube. Lottie Thompson, and several other people. But listen, Mother, thank you for being with us. Thank you for sharing your son with us. Thank you for investing in him because we're enjoying his music and his ministry in the year 2023. And so guys, listen, thank you so much for being with us, man. It's already 10:22. We've taken up a lot of Brother Daymond's time. Next week, y'all, we're going to be going live from the revival and over at the New Fellowship Church. And then the following week, I think that date is December the 4th. Is that right? December the 4th. We're going to go all the way down to Beaumont, Texas. Man, a long time friend of mine. Yeah, that's Monday, December the 4th. Minister Major Goldman, man, who's an awesome musician, man, in the Beaumont area. Daymond, man, you need to hear this cat on the organ. This guy is cold on the organ.
Oh, wow.
Minister Goldman, he's going to be with us on December the 4th, all the way from Beaumont, Texas. He's the minister of music at the Antioch Church, where what's his name? The great preacher from Beaumont, John Adolph, Brother John, Pastor John Adolph is the pastor.
Oh, okay.
And so, Minister Major Goldman is going to be with us. And so, again, listen, y'all, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you, Brother Daymond Callahan, for being with us. We've come to the end of the show. If you will, man, give us a closing thought, and we're going to sign off.
Closing thought. Well, I hope we come together better as a city. Meaning tarrying together. I know me and a couple other musicians, we all gather periodically with some young pastors and stuff like that to get together and eat and just fellowship. I just hope we become a better city. Fort Worth got like Chicago talent in it. I'm gonna leave it like that. And it's kind of untouched. And I just hope we can all come together instead of competing, to kind of showcase some of that, the gifts and talent around here. You know, that's my closing thought.
All right, man. Well, that's a great closing thought. Thank you again for being with us. A couple other people have joined us right as we're getting ready to log out. Elisa Rogers, Alicia Ford Davis, Jocelyn Evans Perry, Denarius Mims, Charles Williams. Yeah, and so again, thank y'all for joining us tonight. Again, we'll be going live next week from the revival over at the New Fellowship Church. Y'all have a A safe holiday. Eat a bunch of food. Y'all continue to inspire, encourage, and love on one another. Good night.